It's good to have you join us on today's episode of Tax Matters as we celebrate Nigeria at 61. Congratulations, Nigeria. Now, we are effectively in the last quarter of 2021, and so we can safely say that 2021 is gradually packing its bags. As we have said several times in recent time, there is nothing wrong with the ember months. As you can see, September is already gone. October, November, December are left. All you need to do is put your vehicle in good order. Drive safely, don't overspeed, and of course, don't drink before you drive. Remember also that COVID is still here. Keep safe. And still talking about celebrations, you'll recall that last episode we told you part of the story of the 10th year anniversary celebration of the West African Tax Administration Forum, WATAF, which was held in Abuja. What was the objective, or if you like, the dream of the founding fathers of WATAF? Mrs. Ifweko Omoigwe Okaro was the executive chairman FRS when WATAF was born.
We share common history, we share cultures, and when we face problems, what more than to see another member of a family, to see how they've solved it, and also to share in the challenges so that together we forge a very strong union. And I'm really excited. I'm not even sure I know how to express this, but I'm really happy that those that were part of the WATAF team that I left behind have taken it to where it is today.
Alhaji Kabiru Mashi took over for Mrs. Okaro at the FRS.
My sister Ifyoku started the whole idea. When she left, I took over. The whole idea was to have a forum where we can talk with one voice and we can learn from each country. And I'm happy it is progressing. I'm happy that decision was taken. I'm very happy we're able to make it, and we have witnessed 10 years of this existence.
From Tuesday the 21st to Thursday the 23rd of September 2021, WATAF marked its 10 years anniversary together with its 17th WATAF General Assembly and high-level policy dialogue in Abuja with the theme, the taxation of the digital economy, exploring untapped revenue sources in Africa. Mr. Yankuba Dabrar of Gambia is the current chairman of WATAF. What informed the choice of the theme of this high policy dialogue?
First and foremost, WATAF is an organization that has been established mainly to assist, the member countries to do more of sharing of information and the experience, so that the quality of the taxations within these member countries can improve. Among other things, the organization also, it is our intention to make sure that our voices and our experiences are heard. We also want to have all the members of WATAF to be part of ETAF, so that ETAF as an African tax forum can have a bigger number of membership. So coming back to your questions, it is something that we thought that the world is moving to a direction where the digitalization is taking shape, and we thought as council members that we need to do something about it, and no one country can work on it in terms of the revenue, the amount of revenue that we are losing in terms of digitalization. Africa, we are still coming up. There is a lot that we need to do in terms of bringing up our technology. So we thought that bringing the team like taxing the digital economy would be a very good one, where we'll bring all these experts all over the world, and then we discuss the subject so that we can come to a very close resolution where it's going to help all the member countries.
Mr. Babatunde Oladapo is the Executive Secretary of WATAF. What do you have on the plate for the future?
With the increase in digital activities, So it means for tax administration to be effective in their responses. Most companies they've transcended beyond the issue of brick and mortars. Businesses, you can sit in your room, you can make your sitting room and be making millions of dollars. Like the example provided someone, there are some businesses like Uber who don't own taxis. They sit in one place, connect people through technology. There are people who write e-books. There are people who provide hotel accommodations, but they don't own any. So WATAF will want to first focus on improving the ability of our members to be able to digitalize. When I say digitalize, meaning getting the right technology to keep track of where the transactions are happening, so that we'll be able to know who is doing what and who is liable to pay what. And then also we want to emphasize the issue of data. Yeah, right now the volume of data at the click of a computer, I can tell you right from 7 a.m. up to now, there are millions of transactions there. So it means you need to be able to mine data. It means you should be able to interpret data. It means we should be able to work on providing data warehousing services where they go to. So those are things we will look at. And then also we'll be focusing more on training our members in areas like the taxation of the extractive, precisely mining. But those are areas that we've not been able to do extend. And of course, we'll also be looking at soft issues like the issue of human resources related issues, because now the game has changed. It means if previously you have members of tax administration were just equipped to be accountants, we need to take them to the next level of being able to use technology to enhance whatever they do, and then so that at the end of the day we will not be playing catch up. And also WATAF will engage more with those outside within an immediate geographic responsibility. You can see at this conference we were able to bring similar organizations on board. And the essence of it is networking, peer learning, so that members can have access to what is happening.
I'm a very busy man. My business involves a lot of traveling and I interface with lots and lots of people and organizations. Tax compliance used to be a big drag on my business. It was time consuming and very costly. But now, no more. Introducing the FIRS Tax Pro Max, the truly fully end-to-end tax administration solution for companies' income tax, value-added tax, petroleum profits tax, and all other tax types. For fast, efficient, and convenient end-to-end tax experience, log on to www.taxpromax.firs.gov.ng. Tax Pro Max has turned things around for me. It is fast, user-friendly, and cost-effective. FIRS, making tax administration as easy as ABC.
There you are. Nigeria at 61, WATAF at 10. Thank you for still being there. It is said that taxation rests on a tripod: tax policy, tax laws, and administration. Nigeria's revised national tax policy came into effect in February 2017. Of course, like with all policies, it is the basis of all that we do with regard to tax matters in Nigeria. The revised National Tax Policy 2017, the journey so far, implementation gaps, and the way forward was the topic of a lecture delivered by Professor Abiola Soni, Professor of Commercial Law at the University of Lagos, on the occasion of the 60th birthday of Prince Razak Kunle Quadri, the 9th President of the CITN and a distinguished member of the Tax Appeal Tribunal, Lagos Zone. Professor Soni was the chairman of the National Tax Policy Review Committee set up in 2016, which gave birth to the revised policy of 2017.
This is an auspicious occasion to take stock and ask ourselves, how has the National Tax Policy document performed since 2017? Especially at this time when a lot are happening in the Nigerian fiscal space. Nigeria is presently facing what I call revenue challenge. There is rising domestic and national debts. Then currently, VAT, which has grown to be the major revenue earner, is also challenged. I define tax policy as the fundamental guidelines for orderly development of the tax system in terms of what government will do and what government will not do, or how government will do it. It's like a statement of principle to do things in a responsible, organized fashion. It is not law. So it provides benchmark on which stakeholders shall be held accountable. Everybody in the tax space, the legislature, the ministry, the collecting agencies, the professionals, and then the institute like ours.
On the principles that guided the work of the National Tax Policy Review Committee,
we are tax practitioners. We know the principles since the day of Adam Smith. Those are the principles that fired my imagination when I first interacted with tax. Fairness, administrative efficiency, and all that. So we broke them down to equity, fairness, simplicity, certainty, low compliance cost, low cost of administration, flexibility, sustainability, and all that. And the document also said we will use taxation to create wealth, not to hinder businesses. We will use it as an enabler of business. We will use it to support businesses.
Professor Sonny then proceeded to examine what he referred to as implementation updates.
What I've done here basically is to look at the recommendations that were made in that document. And one of the unique contributions of the revised tax policy over the former one was that we recognized that the former one failed because it was not implemented. And what did we do? We listed what every stakeholder will do, beginning from the president. So the Finance Act you are seeing today did not just drop from the sky or from the blues. We listed it as one of the deliverables of Mr. President. And there was sustained advocacy. Now, budget speeches to consistently contain the overriding fiscal policy and summary statement of the expected tax revenue. There were times when you see a budget speech and there is no tax content. Not even a statement. It was never so. But that shows the depth that we have abandoned tax revenue as a driver of this economy. And we said we have to go back to the good old days. But we can still do more. Because normally, there will be painstaking effort in the budget speech to explain what happened in the previous year relating to each major taxes, and then the revenue, and also what they plan to do, how they plan to generate it. So this will bring clarity into what will come in the fiscal year. Things have improved in that regard. Then work towards ensuring that there is only one tax revenue agency per level of government. In other countries, all the government revenue gravitate towards is. So that is the right way to block leakages. Imagine having custom and FRS as a unit. Handshake between the two. But this is Nigeria. Some will see it as a liquidation of their empire. But the way to go is to look at leading practices elsewhere and then key into it. Okay? So the answer is no. Executives shall sponsor a bill for the establishment of a tax court. This has also not happened. Then legislature, review the qualifications for the lower income tax rate applicable to small businesses to encourage tax compliance, especially by the micro and the small businesses. This had been taken on board. So all the mileage we saw in CAMA, we saw in VAT, they are offshoot of this recommendation. So 100%, I think we should clap for the Nigerian tax. The next one is also a good news. Establish a minimum threshold for VAT registration and compliance in order to protect micro and small businesses. Because for the past 30 years, we had a law that says that the retail stage was part of the VAT system. But we all know that it is an illusion. It is an illusion. So we came to terms with reality and said, let us create a threshold, the way it is done in other climes. Then encourage the establishment of a taxation committee at the National Assembly. This is what I thought would be the easiest. But when we told them, they said, no, it must still be in finance, because the people in finance didn't want taxation to go. We made all the arguments, but up till now, this has not happened. But this is also a leading practice across other nations. The Establishment Act for the Joint Tax Board. This has also not happened. We discovered that Joint Tax Board has a very great role to play. The Joint Tax Board had been very, very active. Right now, its mandate is limited to personal income tax. But does it have to be personal income tax alone? Look at all these crises around VAT. Joint Tax Board could have been deployed to solve so many problems. It has great potential. And what an establishment act would have done for JTB is the kind of transformation that the Establishment Act did for FRS itself, from a department to an agency. Ensure automation. FRS is doing this. FRS has invested in this. But like everything, it will evolve. We cannot just start and be there. So we also have to be patient to nurture any tax system. So I commend FRS for the effort that it is doing in this regard. Because during the COVID, how would we have coped if we have not leveraged technology? But we need to do more. It requires investment. It requires huge investment. So I believe even FRS still need much more in terms of financial support so that they can deepen their technology infrastructure.
I'm a very busy man. My business involves a lot of traveling and I interface with lots and lots of people and organizations. Tax compliance used to be a big drag on my business. It was time consuming and very costly. But now, no more. Introducing the FIRS Tax Pro Max, the truly fully end-to-end tax administration solution for companies' income tax, value-added tax, petroleum profits tax, and all other tax types. For fast, efficient, and convenient end-to-end tax experience, log on to www.taxpromax.firs.gov.ng. Tax Pro Max has turned things around for me. It is fast, user-friendly, and cost-effective. FIRS, making tax administration as easy as ABC.
Tax Pro Max, end-to-end tax administration solution. Professor Sonny's paper was discussed by Dr. Abdallah Ali Nakir, Senior Lecturer, University of Ghana, School of Law, who joined virtually. Dr. Nakir focused on the so-called special arrangement and other incentives under the policy guidelines of the national tax policy.
What is of importance to me is the issue of special arrangement and tax incentives. These are areas that deny countries a lot of tax revenue. So I have indicated that there is always the need to do a cost-benefit analysis of tax incentives and also to ensure that we prepare tax expenditure reports as part of the revenue reporting agenda. Then we'll be able to estimate what we are losing as a country by way of tax incentives. Those that are forward-looking, we maintain them. Those that are disincentive in terms of revenue mobilization, we can review, revise, and cancel those that are not needed. On international and regional treaties, our treaties seem to be in favor of the other contracting state than our state. So I think that is one area Professor Abdullah has highlighted we need to look at the reforms going forward. On the responsibilities of stakeholders, Professor Abdullah did justice to it. And for the sake of the taxpayer, I agree with him. If the taxpayer is not treated as a customer, as a client, and responses to his letters and objections being fairly determined, it helps taxpayers to rather go underground and try to evade taxes rather than being compliant. In conclusion, I would say that a good tax policy, as Professor Abdullah mentioned, should result in a good tax system. And the 5 basic conditions that Professor Abdullah highlighted need to be present. And this we find in the reviewed National Tax Policy of Nigeria.
The birthday lecture was chaired by Mr. Gabriel Fashoto, the 7th president of the CITN and one-time president of the Association of Professional Bodies in Nigeria, APBN. The lecture was graced with the presence of leading lights in the taxation profession in Nigeria, led by the Doyen of Taxation in Nigeria, Chief David Oloreleke. In his remarks after the highly stimulating intellectual session, Prince Razak Quadri went down memory lane, reminding all that he had always marked his birthday this way.
Professor Taufik Abdulrazak, he was the one that delivered the birthday lecture during my 2011 birthday. And the title was Tax Evasion, Divination, and Corporate Insanity. Put simply, only canvassing for debt forgiveness for tax evaders. I'm happy to mention the fact that in 2017-2018, this issue was actually what translated into VIX. And that was when a lot of taxpayers were brought into the tax net. So when eventually I decided, okay, we are going to have this gathering, I now called on another professor, this time Professor Sonny. I want to really appreciate Professor Sonny for the good work he has done. And of course, my darling brother in Ghana, Professor Ali Nachia.
Still on the choice of a lecture to mark his birthday.
The main purpose is actually to ensure that the government and the taxpayers are reached on what will benefit all the parties, all the stakeholders. And talking about national tax policy is an issue that is the base, the fundamental of the tax system anywhere. From tax policies, you migrate into the tax laws, from tax laws into the tax administration. And I feel that this tax policy, if we get it right, of course, the Nigerian tax system will have been much better.
Congratulations to Prince Quadri. The good that men do live with them while they are alive, like the chairman of the occasion said on the choice of the venue of the lecture.
When I was told that this ceremony is taking place in this building, I gave God Almighty all the glory. Why? It was during the presidency of today's celebrant that the foundation of this building was laid.
Thank you for spending time with us on today's episode of Tax Matters. Let's do this again next week on the same station, same day of the week and same time of the day. Bye for now.